Hi, grade 2 students, welcome back again. Today's lesson is about quotation marks. Get ready for the grammar lesson, please. Quotation marks. Okay, what are quotation marks? These signs that you can see when you're reading a story, these kind of signs we call quotation marks. You have seen them in the stories, in the reading textbook, where we read the story, where people talk, because quotation marks are used to show the beginning and ending of the words that someone says. Again, these marks are called quotation marks, and these quotation marks are used to show the beginning and the ending of the words that someone says. So when you read a story and people talk in the story, you will see quotation marks. Quotation marks will show where the words of the speaker begin, and these quotations will show where the words of the speaker end. You can see that they look different. This one, they have like a circle down and then goes up, and these go opposite way, circle up and down. So these are at the beginning of the sentence, and these are at the end of the at the beginning of the words that speaker says, and these were at the end of the words that speaker says. So these are quotation marks. I will just show you some examples. Here's an example. Can you see? I want to read a book, said Tom. What did Tom say? Which are the words that Tom said? He said, I want to read a book. So, see, there are quotations at the beginning to show where the quotation begins, and there are quotation marks at the end where the words that Tom says, where they end. So what did Tom say? I want to read a book. The beginning is before the word I, and ending of the quotation is after the word book. Some more examples. This story is nice, said Jack. Ask yourself, what did Jack say? He said these words. This story is nice. So these are what we call the words of the speaker, because that's what someone says, the words that someone speaks. These are the words of the speaker. We need to show the words of the speaker using the quotations at the beginning and at the end. Next sentence, Molly said, I don't like reading. Ask yourself, what did Molly say? Which words are the words that Molly said? She said, I don't like reading. These are the words that Molly said. So these words need to be in quotations, beginning before the word I and ending after the word reading, after the period. So these are what we call quotation marks. Now, boys and girls, this is very important information. The speaker's name and the words such as said, replied, answered, asked, shouted, or exclaimed, these are not included in the quotation marks. One more time, the name of the speaker, the name of a person who says the words, it's not included in the quotations, and also words like said, replied, answered, asked, shouted, or exclaimed. They are not included in the quotations. Let's have a look. Sally said, reading is important. What did Sally say? Find the words that Sally said. She said, reading is important. Very good. So, these words should be using quotations. in front, before the word reading, and at the end, after the word important, after the period. And which words are not included in the quotations? Name of the speaker, which is Sally, and the word said, not included in the quotations. Next sentence, have a look. We read a lot in the school, replied Becky. What did Becky reply? What are the words that Becky said? She said, we read a lot in the school. So these words should be in the quotations, right? Where will we put quotations? At the beginning, before the word we, and at the end of the word school, after the comma. Which words are not included in the quotations? Replied, and also name of the speaker, Becky. So one more time, the words of the speaker, the ones that people say, the words that someone says, must be in the quotation, using the quotation marks at the beginning and at the end. The name of the speaker and the words like said, replied, answered, asked, shouted, or exclaimed are not included in the quotations. Let's practice some more, please. Before you understand it so well, we need to practice a lot, right? So, Yusuf asked, can we play a funny game? What did Yusuf ask? He asked, can we play a funny game? These are the words that Yusuf asked. These are the words that Yusuf said, right? So these words should be in the quotations using quotation marks. Where we will put the quotation marks? At the beginning, before the word can, and at the end, after the question mark. Name of the speaker, Yusuf, is not in the quotation marks. And the word asked is not in the quotation marks. Do you understand? One more try. Ahmed answered, we have lots of work to do. What did Ahmed answer? What are the words that Ahmed said? What did he say? He said, we have lots of work to do. So these words we need to put into quotation marks. Where we will put the beginning quotation marks? Before we. Where we will put the ending quotation marks? After the period. And which words are not included in the quotation marks? Name Ahmed and the word answered. Very good. Now, do you understand what are quotation marks? And do you understand how we use them to show the words of the speaker? Very good. No more practice. Do we need more practice? No, we don't. We can start working in our notebook. So open up Readers and Writers Notebook on the page 499. If you want to, you can write a date. Are we ready? Okay. The sentences we will read about, they are mostly about flags. And parade. Parade, I explained it to you, if you remember, a few days back when we were reading a story about the girl dressed up as a grape going to the parade. Parade is a special activity when people walk throughout the town, in the city on the streets, and they are dressed up in different costumes. It's for fun. So that's a parade, just for extra information. Okay, let's start. We need to add the quotations to these sentences. The quotations are missing. So let's read and add the quotations, please. And if you want to, you can use colored pencil to underline the words of the speaker. Number 1. I don't know what kind of parade to have, said Betsy. Ask yourself, what did Betsy say? Which words did she say? She said, I don't know what kind of parade to have. Very good. So we need to add the quotations. Where will you add the quotations? At the beginning, before the word I. Where will you put the ending quotations? After the word have, but include the comma as well. So that's done. Very good. Let's go to number 2. Abe said, we could have a flag parade. First question you will ask is, what did Abe say? Which are the words that he said? We could have a flag parade. Very good. Underline them if you want to. Now, what do we need to do? Put these words into quotation marks. Where we will put the beginning quotations? Before we and ending after the period, after the word parade. Number 3. What is a flag parade? Asked Francis Scott. Ask yourself, what did Francis Scott ask? What is a flag parade? These are the words that she asked. Very good. Let's put them in the quotations. Before what and after parade, including the question mark. Done? We have a few more, please. Let's go and complete it. Still on the same page. We could all wear red, white, and blue, George said. What did George say? We could all wear red, white, and blue. That's what he said, exactly. Now, let's put them into the quotations. Where shall we begin the quotations? Before we. Where shall we end the quotations? After blue. Very good. Number 5. Lincoln asked, could we all carry flags? What did Lincoln ask? Yes, he asked, could we all carry flags? So let's put these words into the quotations. Where are the beginning? Right here. And ending quotations? Right there. Very good. After the question mark. Last one, number 6. Betsy said, that's a great idea. What did Betsy say? That's a great idea. Let's put these words into the quotations. The beginning quotations, before that, and ending after idea, including exclamation. Very good, everyone. We will continue with the next page, but we will revise first in the second part of the PowerPoint.